Hello, and welcome to InFocus, a video series highlighting the innovative solutions that Trimble is bringing to the construction industry. My name is Rob Miller. Today, I'm joined by Jim McCartney, Marketing Manager from Trimble. Jim is joining us to talk about Trimble CrewSight. Jim, thanks for being here. It's great to have you with us.
My pleasure. Thanks, Rob.
So last time you were here, we were talking about the Rapid Positioning System, which is a new layout solution from Trimble. And in many ways, I think a lot of people, when they hear the name Trimble, they think of positioning technologies. But Trimble CrewSight is something very different, correct?
Yeah, it's completely different. And consistent with Trimble's message to transform the way the world works, we're transforming the way contractors work. And we believe that workforce management is critical to the success of any project.
All right, so let's start there. What exactly do you mean by workforce management, and why is that important to Trimble?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say that workforce management is made up of a number of different things. Number one is safety, providing a safe workforce for the employees or the workers on site, making sure that they have the proper credentials, the proper safety certifications, and they belong on site. Secondly would be security. So making sure that those that are on site actually have the ability and the permission to be there. You don't want any liability concerns, and you want to make sure that only the people that are required are on a site. Planning and assessment. So the ability to plan for your workforce and, more importantly, assess whether or not you're meeting that plan. And then finally would be compliance. Many projects today have to meet certain compliance standards, whether that be a women's business enterprise or a minority business enterprise, or more frequently today, a municipal or a government hiring requirement.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about exactly what is Trimble CrewSight.
I think the best way to explain that would be to say that it's a workforce visibility portal. So it gives the contractor and all of the key stakeholders in a project the capability to have transparent visibility into the workforce, their qualifications, their productivity levels, and their security standards at any point in time. It's really a software application, which is a web-based cloud application that takes inputs from a variety of sensors, RFID sensors that are placed around the job site. And it's reading the badges that the employees carry.
Okay, so let's talk about those sensor inputs. You mentioned their RFID. How do you collect that information, and what is it feeding back to the software?
We configure the system based upon the requirements of the project. So there's typically a core configuration which consists of an entry-exit portal, which could be open access, meaning people just walk through at their freedom, or it could be a hard access control, which incorporates a turnstile or a gate approach. The other part of that are the consumable parts of it, which are the badges, the RFID badges, which are nothing more than an identification badge that contains an RFID chip in it that these sensors can read. And then the third part of it is the web application, or Trimble CrewSight, which is a cloud-based application that people log into, and it compiles and visualizes and allows you to report on all of the workforce information.
So can the system provide notifications?
Yeah, it can, absolutely. So it can provide notifications or alerts. So if you put in zone readers and you'd like to know positively if somebody's gone into an area, meaning that that person's supposed to be in there or that group of people are supposed to be in there, you'll be notified that they've gone in there. And in the case of an emergency muster, where you have an emergency situation and everybody has to group together in one location, we can quickly and easily scan everybody in the group and understand who's there, and more importantly, who's not.
Okay, so each person on site has this badge, this tag, which is RFID enabled so that it can be read.
Yes.
What happens if somebody loses a badge?
If somebody loses a badge, it's a simple onboarding process. Take a new badge, put the customized components on it if that's what you're doing, or you can just use a generic badge. I think the other important thing that we want to emphasize here is that there's no information stored on a badge. So if someone loses it, there's no risk that their information is going to be gathered off of the badge. All of that data is stored in the cloud on a data server, and when that badge is read, the inputs go to the cloud, the credentials of that sensor are verified, and then the information is displayed. So the security risks are minimized even if you lose a badge.
What is the right type of project for Trimble CrewSight?
It doesn't really matter about the type of project, nor does it really matter about the size. The really important part of it is, what are the requirements of the project? Do you require access control to make sure that people that come on site are qualified and have the right credentials? Do you desire to have more visibility into the workforce? Meaning, do you need to know how many of a particular crew from a particular subcontractor are working that day? Are you interested in understanding how much of your workforce was doing a certain type of task, or how many people were located in a certain area? Do you want to gather that information to show to your management staff as to the productivity and the workforce that's on the project?
So what type of benefits would contractors see from an implementation of Trimble CrewSight?
Yeah, so there's a lot of them. I think first and foremost is you have direct, immediate visibility into your workforce, understanding how many people by company and by trade are on the project at any point in time. Secondly is, if there are particular areas in the project that are supposed to be staffed by certain trades or certain subcontractors, you want to be able to understand that. I think the other important part that we see with CrewSight is that it has the capability to integrate outside of itself. We've actually integrated directly with Prolog, and in particular with the Prolog Daily Work Journal. So what we've done is created a two-way workflow where we can send CrewSight workforce data to the Prolog Daily Work Journal to populate that on a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever the user chooses to define. The other direction is by using the employee tables in Prolog to populate the workforce data inside of CrewSight, simplifying that onboarding task and minimizing the workload for those that have to put people into the system.
So Jim, I think from what we've talked about here today, Trimble CrewSight is a great example of Trimble's initiative of being forward-thinking in the construction world and really trying to connect the field and the information that's there back to the office and make that usable.
Yeah, that was exactly the intent with Trimble CrewSight.
Jim, I want to thank you for being here. It's great to have you as always.
My pleasure, Rob. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you again. If you'd like to learn more about Trimble CrewSight, contact your local BuildingPoint representative. From all of us here at BuildingPoint, thank you for watching.